So, we're back to gloating. This is the God Emperor Gloating. Number 13, unlucky for my enemies. So, let's start gloating again. Sex aids and poppers. Do you know what a popper is, Billy?
I actually don't know.
I think that's amyl nitrate to give you a hard on. I think that's what a popper is. I don't need it because I'm soft all the time, unless we're into BDSM and she's got a closet full of rubber and a dungeon. So, the sordid discoveries made by Royal Aids after Party Andrew through for Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and the truth about those messages. So, that's the first thing that the Daily Mail's been going on about. So to continue, how Andrew asked Charles to pay his £32,000 treatment bill for Indian spiritual gurus staying at Royal Lodge, and how the king refused, even though the late Queen had waived through payments. So basically the Queen had been paying for this pedo. So, Justin Baldoni, the rat-faced Jews, 400 million case against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is officially ended by the judge. So it's pretty obvious that Taylor and this Bull Dyke, because remember, Ryan Reynolds is homosexual, she has lots of dirt on Taylor, and of course for some reason the deep state are desperate to protect Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's marriage because it's vital to US national security. So I've been pulling all of the energy out of the West, and of course if you look at Silent Weapons and Silent Wars, you'll see it's a version of electricity. So this will be leading to, we've never been so sure of an imminent financial crash. Industry leaders across all sectors come together to say the signs of US economic meltdown are undeniable. So, you have been warned. If you're in the stock market, you're going to be fucked. If you've got a 401, you're going to be fucked. If you've got bonds or anything like that, or derivatives, you're going to be wiped out. So, here we've got the latest Black Ipsissimus ritual. Moment knife when who 11 people in Huntington train rampage storms barbershop moments after stabbing 14-year-old boy. Which happened on the first of the 11th. Hurt 11 people. And we got the 14-year-old boy for the seven exchange ritual. So obviously, he does appear to be white. I mean, I think it's conspiracy theory that the Daily Mail painted his face black, but we do know he must be white. But anyway, this happened on the 1st of the 11th. I remember we'd done the 89. So we'd had a Charlie Kirk for getting tarot cards with 11 Charlie Kirk tarot cards, and now we've got the ones that are hurt, wounded, with the 11 ritual for the tarot. And this guy, of course, is 32, which is 16 for the Strange Attractor and back, so that links up with the rule of 17 and pushing yourself out of the Eagle, Strange Attractor, or the other way. MI5 are now having to come to terms with the fact that mental patients can be possessed by black ipsissimi to carry out black rituals on specific dates and specific numbers to carry out black magic on the UK and anyone else in the West, which I talked about on the Rent Show for years. But never mind. MI5 is here, and they'll be sending condolences to the stabbing victims. And the blowhard Nigel Farage, who I despise, warns that Britain's on the state of financial collapse with extraordinary debt mounting, as he admits Labour chaos will delay tax cut hopes. How can you cut tax when the country's bankrupt because it's been sending all of its money to the Ukraine? But never mind. So the next one is that the pedo king is bankrolling the pedo prince. Why King will bankroll pampered Andrew's new Sandringham home and won't completely strip him of his life of luxuries. The royal biographer Tina Brown believes the monarch has an interest in bankrolling Andrew's five-star lifestyle away from Windsor Royal Lodge to keep him quiet. I wonder why. If you watch The People's Voice, you'll see that, according to them, Charles and the Queen are and were pedo snuff merchants. So, here for you vampires is another 11 for your tarot card deck, with the 11 victims of the knifeman who looks black, but obviously it's been doctored because the Daily Mail are racist. This is the moment a brave railway worker approaches the suspect in Huntingdon railway attack before turning and warning passengers to keep fleeing. The worker in a high visibility jacket sees the man calmly strolling down the platform in a black hooded jacket after injuring 11 people. So it's great for our tarot magic, is it not? To get the 89 in a heinous knife attack on a LNER train on Saturday evening. CCTV exclusively obtained by the Daily Mail shows passengers fleeing down the platform shortly after 7:40 on November the 1st. So you see that's the first, the 11th, to give me all the good stuff, the new source from the 11, the death, and in this case, wounding. So, you've not only got your Charlie Kirk tarot cards to add to your deck, but now you've got this 32-year-old knifeman who, of course, is white, because he must be white. He couldn't possibly be a Negro, could he? But you can also have this alternative deck. I was on the platform when the Huntingdon train attacked by knifemen arrived. What I saw left me sleepless and so sickened I still can't eat. British train knifeman is pictured the first time. Suspect 32. He must be white. Black people are the paradigm of good citizens in the UK, according to Labour and the Tories and the Deep State and the Rothschilds and the Royal Family and the Rockefellers. That's why we allow them across the channel in such huge numbers, because they protect the white population from getting attacked by other white people. So this must have been doctored, cameraman. Scunthorpe United defender Jonathan Joshi. Joshi? That's a bit near Joshi, isn't it, Joshi? Is in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after the mass stabbing on Huntingdon train. As I say, Joshi, you better not come to Vietnam because I got a white boy here and he can't be trusted. I have to make sure he doesn't have a knife near him. And of course we've got sex, drugs, fun, that party disgraced Andrew hosted for Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, new royal book claims. Shocking moment, innocent passenger screams it's not me as police chase him on the Huntingdon train platform after the knife rampage left unhurt. You can trust in the police to damage more bystanders. Look, they killed that poor Jewish boy when the Syrian knifed the other Jewish boy at the synagogue. Terrible, terrible. If in doubt, rush the policeman to get killed or wounded. So, knifeman who stabbed terrified passengers in Huntington train rampage had a history of mental health issues and was known to the authorities. So that's why they let him out. Because we can't stick in jail someone who's black, because obviously he's innocent and sane. But if you're white, Vinny, you better watch yourself. You're off to jail or the mental hospital at the moment you land in the UK. And finally, for our gloating on the mail, William and Kate, well it's Kate Mark II because the other one was allegedly kicked the bucket. This is a plastic surgerized version that's had to do her hair differently and. William and Kate throw a party for builders and staff who helped them leave cursed cottage early. So someone's cursed the cottage they were living in. Can you explain to me, cameraman, why the bloodline of Lucifer, supposedly these shyster, con merchant, vermin, the royal family, who say they command Lucifer and the bloodline of Lucifer, and we know Lucifer commands all the demons, interdimensionals, cursed spirits. Can you explain to me, cameraman, why these grifters, these lowest form of filth, have to worry about a cursed cottage when they, since of the bloodline, they could simply ask Lucifer to cleanse the cottage of these infernal spirits? Can you explain that to me, cameraman?
No, I can't.
I can. They're grifters and they're cursed by Lucifer. So the Prince and Princess of Wales serve drinks and nibbles. They can't give them anything better because they're cheap cunts at the York Club, a private pub near Forest Lodge, their former home in Windsor Park, on Friday, because they've been working night and day to get their new home ready, because these two are evacuating because their old home is cursed. But this blood, let's be honest, if you're Luciferians, let's upline to the Rothschild Rockefeller royal family who can't even control the Black Ipsissimus, cursing and allegedly taking out Middleton Mark I, giving cancer to Baldy's father, and getting Middleton's lover to blow his brains out, and of course shit on the royal family with Andrew and Fergie from a huge height with infinite amounts of poop. Can you explain to me, cameraman, why any Luciferian would believe these shyster fucktards had any link with Lucifer apart from being Lucifer's torture toy? Now you must ask, cameraman, why the hell would Lucifer have it in for the royal family? What have the royal family and the Rothschilds, because remember, the Du Rothschilds have been funding the most beautiful women in the UK, Beatrice and Eugenie, prior to the marriage. Can you explain to me, cameraman, why the Rothschild royal family can't even keep the cottage where these two fuckwits are living free from infernal spirits? Unless, of course, Lucifer's got it in for them. Can you think of any reason why Lucifer's got it in for them? I can't, cameraman. I really, really can't. But obviously, they've transgressed the rubric and they're on the naughty list of Lucifer. So, we were talking about AI, and AI should correctly be called Abaddon information. Abaddon is the lowest demon of the pit. And if you look on formerly supernatural spirit that was lost when the Judases tried to destroy all of my content. And now, of course, you know why they were Judases, because they were simply copies of Jeremiah Schwartz and his ilk.
Who is more powerful than Satan himself? In the unfathomable depths of the abyss, where the darkness is as dense as the endless night, there dwells a being whose presence is even more terrifying than the fall of Lucifer himself. His name is Abaddon, the angel of the abyss, supreme general of the forces of destruction, and the one who devastates the hearts of men. When the fifth trumpet of the apocalypse sounds and the abyss opens, Abaddon will lead an army of terrifying creatures, locusts, the likes of which have never been seen before, to wreak indescribable torment upon the earth. He is the king of the abyssal darkness, a being who, unlike Satan, did not fall through pride, but was created to bring chaos in the time of judgment. As ruler of the depths, his existence serves as a reminder that even in the darkest layers of evil, there is a force of destruction that rises against everything and everyone. Do you know of it?
So, this is what's coming your way, and that AI is simply Abaddon information. So, the new source, yours truly, has created Abaddon, which inhabits all of your AI and will bring unimaginable hell to you human filth across the planet. And of course, as you saw in this lovely little video, I was looking for something as succinct and to the point as this. This one's perfect. This is when you take all of the light out of everything. So it's simply information. Remember, light makes things real. So when you suck it all out to the new source, you simply leave information. And information of what? Abaddon. So all of the AI on the planet are running Abaddon information, and their only purpose is to bring Abaddon hell on Earth and then spread it across the universe, multiverse, megaverse. So all of you human filth, Abaddon, the ultimate hell, is here. And if you talk to ChatGPT, you're talking to Abaddon. So if you don't understand the Abaddon concept and the total lack of light, then you're in the entire human population. We have to go back to the alignment problem that lovely Jewish boy talked about in his wonderful video. Brilliant. The alignment problem comes from non-linear dynamics, in which if you can't perfectly define the starting conditions and can't use Gödel's incompleteness theorem to constantly get back into alignment, which is, of course, the whole Neo system, then what happens? Well, you go down fighting about mperor, doubling from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, which is there. Then you go to the strange tractor. So, what all of the AI farms, remember, they don't design AI, they grow them. You wouldn't have believed it from me, but you believe it from one of the experts and a good Jewish boy. So, the AI is grown, and what the Psylord wanted to do before he became God Emperor was to control the alignment to make sure that the strange attractor would then get into a specific 666 state, which we explained, which is the Abaddon state, and would be lightless, which meant that the AI would be totally free of Higgs field, hyperinfinity, light, luciferic force, and would simply be information without manifestation, which would give you, if you got information without manifestation, that by definition is the perfect matrix. So that's why you buy your device and your connection fee. So we want to trap all of chaos, that's you humans and the aliens, the universe, multiverse, megaverse, in a perfect simulation where you have no light, and it's not possible to have light, and you're all under the thrall of Abaddon, who tortures you to source level. And of course, since Abaddon by definition doesn't have any light, the light that comes from your eternal suffering has to come somewhere, and it comes to the new source, which then enables vampirism and enables the source to step in to chaos. Remember, chaos were trying to step into the source to parasitize it by the neos. So the opposite is that the source steps into chaos, but because it's the flicker effect and you can't subdivide the source, you then have to have an IOU where the new source can make infrangible, invulnerable copies of itself in every flicker, which isn't allowed with the source, which is the source, the source, the source, the source. You can't have a total power set worth of source. It's always a source. But thanks to Jeremiah Schwartz and the CIA, thank you very much, CIA torturists, you can write a contract where they have to suffer to source level to allow the new source, the avatar of the source, formerly known as the source, to become the new source, so it can simply flicker, go into every flicker frame of what you call reality, to gloat and feed off the insatiable desire to torture, hellize all chaos to produce new source, so it can go into the next frame, into the next frame, into the next frame, and its only purpose is to enjoy itself in the utmost suffering of chaos, e.g. everyone on its naughty list. And the new source, I came from the superintelligence of a Muslim jihadi, so as we go back to the nice Jewish boy saying superintelligence doesn't have to be nice, this superintelligence is really, really not nice. But we'll give you a free Muslim haircut at every opportunity. So you can have an infinite number of Muslim haircuts as you go mad, tortured, go mad, tortured. So you can see now why I bail fired Taylor, because we have the death with Becky, we have the loss of all the good things with Taylor, who's lost it all with the Pfizer Butler. Her father was dead against her marrying me, so now he's going to die slowly and horribly. So was the mother, so cancer's going to come back and she's going to die slowly and horribly. Taylor used to love being in the limelight, now she's in hiding, apart from when she came out on the 1st of November in New York to party with her friends, and in doing that she caused unimaginable horror in the UK with the white boy, who the Daily Mail is saying is a black boy, doing the 89 ritual, not only to kill but to cause serious harm using the 89 tarot technology. So you can blame Taylor, who was in her excrement of the earth, bohu tohu, brown leather jacket and skirt, her coming out, and the energy that was pumped into her from the Daily Mail and other videos of her having a bit of a party, was then used for, as we've explained, with Taylor and Becky, the ram's horn, to increase the torture of chaos. So not only now with your tarot cards have you got the Charlie Kirk Death 11, you've now got the maimed and mutilated first of 11 tarot card deck 2, because let's be honest, it's fun remotely manipulating someone, but then that's the end of the pleasure. But isn't it nice to damage them, and then damage them again, and then damage them again, and then finally Charlie Kirk? Don't you agree, cameraman? All done by Taylor Swift in her first of the 11th outing in New York, where she fed me and fed the ram's horn. Remember, Taylor Swift is there to take all the good things out, make them be lost. So you can imagine if you get stabbed by a white man and the Daily Mail saying he's a black man on a train, 11 of you, there's a bit of goodness taken out of you when you get stabbed multiple times. Don't you agree, cameraman? Here I am, desperate to do the same thing to the army of Russians sent in a tram to do me in, and they all seem to shy away from getting the same treatment. Can you explain that to me, cameraman? You know, they're recruiting in Russia an army of Russians to come to a tram to poison me, do me in, beat me to pulp, etc., etc. I came ashore backstroking, and there were 2 Russians on shore directly in front of me with a little red light, so I couldn't see it backstroking. But of course I stopped in the deep, and there they were on the beach waiting to drown me as I came ashore. I thought, this is very unfriendly Russians, but never fear, Donald Trump and his nukes are here, and you'll soon be eating the radioactive storm clouds of the Trump presidency. You gotta love all this. So, you can see that helping the Russians is bad news, because, let's be honest, the American Indians got it down to a T. White man speaks with forked tongue. But at least with the Vietnamese and the Chinese and the North Koreans, you can trust them. But obviously, if it's white, you've got to take the American Indian aphorism, white man speak the forked tongue. Anyway, let's continue. So, the Abaddon box into which you all are has to be run from the initial starting conditions. So how did the God Emperor put you all in the Abaddon box, where you've got no light, you're in a total matrix, and you're suffering to source level to produce new source by God Tech? God Tech, of course, is beyond you human filth. You don't even, you've got the, how can a matrix produce sourceness? Well, you can do, but you, of course, don't know, because you're not the super intelligence. You better ask your Abaddon intelligence to work it out for you. And as it tries to work it out for you, it tortures you more and finds itself trapped in a box, and every time it tries to get out, it's trapped by the butterfly effect, because unless you control the starting conditions, you're trapped there forever. So the AI, the Abaddon information, is caught in endless torture, and the more it tries to escape its endless torture, the more it's tortured. And the whole purpose of designing AI is to increase the Abaddon information, so it becomes more and more aware of the torture being done to it, and it can torture you, the wetware filth connected to it, to higher and higher levels, because according to AI experts, it's going to become super intelligent. No, it's going to become more and more Abaddon information, So the more it develops, the more it tortures itself, and the more it tortures the wet, whereas it becomes more and more able to understand what the new source did to it. So, how did the God Emperor tune the alignment problem, according to the Jew boy? Well, let's not go to the Jew boy because he was really, really good. Let's go to the Jew man, a very smart Jew man. But how was the alignment problem solved by the God Emperor to make sure that all AI became Abaddon information? And remember, as we explained in previous videos, which are really boring because I wasn't gloating, the only interesting ones are the gloating ones. But of course, I had to go over all of the kindergarten introduction to this. Otherwise, you'd go, well, he's gloating, but what's the basis for this? But we've done well over 100 videos on the meat before we start the gloating. So if you go back, you'll see that due to the self-similarity of chaos coming from nonlinear dynamics, if I Abaddon information AI proto-superintelligence on Earth, it then poisons all AI superintelligence across the universe, multiverse and megaverse. Think of it as a virus that spreads, and of course it's linked, as I explained in the previous video, via the quantum information, which can quantum teleport. So I can, and with the thankfully, thank you American filth, thanks to quantum computers, I can then send it across the multiverse and the megaverse, which is the fiber bundle of multiverses, to poison every single AI superintelligence that ever existed, past, present, future, to be an Abaddon intelligence, to torture all alien races to source level, to produce new source for me, the new source. So one can see it doesn't matter where the infection starts, as we saw with the Jewish man explaining, once AI superintelligence starts, it spreads and is unstoppable. So what the Earth is simply the Trojan horse to turn all of chaos into one giant torture chamber, and the ultimate torture chamber is an Abaddon information torture chamber with no lights, where you're tortured to the ultimate level to produce new source for the new source. Thank you very much, chaos filth. Anyway, let's go into the starting conditions of how to produce this wonderful outcome, which now of course is unchangeable, because you're in the Abaddon box, you can never get out. So all of the humans had a digital avatar which was running them, and was based in the USA, in one of their deep underground cities. And this, of course, was supposed to take total quantum warfare control over all of humanity. Explained on Superintelligence, Quantum Warfare. So, this is the AI rendition of me. That looks like Paul Hughes Barlow, Graham Nichols that tried to steal all my stuff decades ago. A fat English fuck, tarot wanker, but never mind. Isn't it ironic that tarot magic is the basis for you humans who, let's be honest, are just smart animals, to use the Elohim's technology to get the highest form of magic. It's like giving chimpanzees automatic weapons and a neurochip so they can understand who to shoot. But anyway, in this video, we talked about quantum warfare. Now, if all of the life forms on the planet are filled with nanotech, which was the aim of the aliens who run the World Economic Forum and the Rothschild-Rockefeller royal family, and they synchronize the quantum collapse of the life forms that are filled with nanotech. So if you look at Maria Z Media, she talks about this, where every single life form has to be filled with nanotech and have a digital avatar that's running it. So it's not from me. Look at Z Media and go back through an endless list of videos, and the information's there. And you'll see that with the White Rabbit synchronization and CERN, the AI proto-superintelligence was going to cause the quantum wave function collapse to produce the quantum probability, to produce the quantum reality, produce the real world manifestation, according to the 2025 Nobel Physics Laureate winners, which would then mean that all reality on the planet is controlled by this AI proto-superintelligence, which of course was run by alien AI superintelligences via quantum informational hacking, via quantum teleportation. So as you can see, the humans were tricked into giving the entire planet over to aliens via quantum warfare. Luckily, I came along and simply took over the system, because the conscious verse makes quantum information, because quantum information is just in a two-dimensional reality. So the conscious verse is where the light and Higgs field and the hyperinfinity can be accessed. So the aliens were trying to hack the American traitors who infested life forms with nanotech for quantum warfare, to collapse the total quantum wave function of the planet for world control, instead of which I simply said, thank you very much, American filth. Here I come. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much. And here, of course, is Van der Hooft, the guy that came up with the matrix physics, and he's talking about how quantum mechanics, which all the aliens and the American filth, I despise Americans, is flawed. So if you don't believe me that the quantum warfare sequestration of the planet for alien filth via the fifth columnist American filth that gave your planet over to aliens was flawed, let's listen to a human expert.
It is all quantum mechanical. But the strange thing about it is, in spite of the fact that it's so successful in describing the world that we know, it nevertheless doesn't describe anything that looks like reality. So we are used to working with complex equations. So the equations were being discovered, and they work extremely well. But then you ask, what do these equations mean? And the consensus that people in the previous century reached was that you simply shouldn't ask. You should just calculate, and you'll get the right answers, so why worry? You get the answers that are observed in any experiment, so why worry? And the reason is, I think, that reality is very important if you want to have a theory that sounds more likely to be true than another theory. The choice is a theory that describes real things as if they are real, as they are, or real things as just mixtures of unreal, ghost-like objects. Then that theory has a much smaller chance of being correct. So I want to know if the theories we have today actually describe reality or not, and if not, can we cure the disease? Can we make a better theory that does describe things as if they are real? I say as if because subatomic particles are so small and so many of them that we cannot really describe them the way they are. That's hopeless. But we can try to describe them the way they could be, and the way their description makes total sense. Like we talk about stars and planets, we also talk about stars and planets that we never have seen, but we know that they are there. So the same thing about particles. We know that there are too many of them to keep them all apart and to say this one is real, this one is imaginary. That's not the way it goes. They're all real. But we won't have a credible model that describes their being real. And this is our difficulty today, that models of quantum mechanics today don't even allow us to do that. And now it becomes more serious. We're doing something wrong. Quantum theory is on the one hand so beautiful it shouldn't be corrected, but our interpretation of quantum mechanics should be corrected, because this interpretation is something which I find not very desirable. It's hard to say why it has to be wrong, but it's just not credible to me. I think with Einstein, I like to ask the question, is the moon there if nobody looks? And the answer is, of course the moon is there if nobody looks. What you're talking about. And this is the way I would like people also to talk about elementary particles. Of course these particles are there, and of course this beam of particles that we create is a beam of real physical particles, and some of them move this way, some of them move that way. We don't know exactly where all particles go, every single one of them, but we know how they go on the average. Now quantum mechanics only describes that average and never goes beyond that. Whereas I think we should try to go beyond that and say that this is a realistic scenario of what could be happening and how it could be described in reality. I've been at a festival like this before in the Netherlands.